Full wallet, empty truck, that's the way I like to go to Home Gym Con. And that's what I did, and that's what we're gonna talk about today on the podcast. Hey everybody, welcome back to the podcast. My name is Tim, I'm the head gym nerd here at GymCrafter.com. And I'm definitely a nerd. So sorry about that. Tribute to all you 90s club people. I think that was 90s, early 2000s. Probably inappropriate for some, but if you know, you know. And I couldn't help myself. But today I want to talk about, yes, another podcast about Home Gym Con. And I think this is going to be maybe the last one, maybe one more if you're nice. But I want to talk about today what I bought, what I didn't buy, what I changed my mind on, what I thought I was gonna buy. Because the number one question everybody asks me is, what did you buy? And I waited till now to tell you. So as I've talked about in other podcasts, one of the big missed opportunities there for most manufacturers were that people showed up, myself included. I literally, full wallet, empty truck. I expected to come back with the reverse. I expected to come back with an empty wallet and a full truck. I came back with a full wallet and a full truck, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, a slightly less full wallet, but still did a whole lot better than I thought it would. But there were a lot of people there who were there to buy stuff, and I really think, I talked about it in another podcast, that man, if you were a company and you didn't have anything to buy, you missed out on a big money-making opportunity. People just were there to buy stuff. And I think the people who did bring stuff, like lots of people sold out of the stuff that they brought. Lots of people brought stuff that that people were like almost fighting over. Like, I want it, no, I want it, I'll give you, like they were little bidding wars on some stuff. So, but anyway, it was super cool. So I figured I'd take a quick podcast, show you guys what I brought back, show you guys what I want to buy based on what I saw at the show, and then also kind of tell you what I changed my mind on, because honestly, I went to the show thinking one thing about a lot of stuff. I really went to the show to look at things to see which one I wanted to buy, and came away not wanting to buy any of it, really surprising myself. And then other stuff I went and was like, I'm not gonna wanna buy that. And now I kind of want to buy that. So I want to share all that with you. It's always interesting to see what new toys and gadgets and things are in store for the garage. So let's get into this podcast. And I want to start with, I've talked about it before, but this show was full of new products and prototypes. And a lot of people complain, like, why are you showing new products and prototypes when I can't buy them? Well, I've got 4 right here in the garage with me, which I think is pretty darn cool. I'm going to start with the most boring one, although I think for me it's kind of cool. And it is this guy right here. It's a shelf bracket. Look at that. Isn't that exciting? Isn't that? So anyway, this is from Synergy Custom Fitness. And I mean, I don't know if you can see this on the camera, but man, the quality of their work is just, their powder coat's really, really good. This, guys, this is what powder coat should look like. But anyway, the Synergy guys sold me the rack behind me that's called a Delta rack. And one of the things, it's a brand new product for them. I was one of the first people in the country to have one. And one of the issues with the Delta rack is it's a vertical storage rack for dumbbells, which is great in a picture until you try and reach down and in and lift up a 100-pound dumbbell to lift it out and up. And you're like, I can't get it out of the shelf. So the shelves that it came with were able to be tilted down a little bit. But there's a couple of problems. Number one, the lower you go, the harder it is to kind of get down and into the shelf. And what they showed, and I did shoot a video, go check out my video on the Synergy Custom Fitness booth. I did show the Delta rack they showed at the show. Showed at the show? Shown at the show? Shoe at the show? Whatever they did at the show, they had it there. And they had a rolling bottom shelf, which I will be ordering for this. But they also came up to me and they were like, hey Tim, we made you this. We want you to check it out, because I had kind of been talking to them about the issues that I was having. So they made me this bracket that will allow one of the shelves to be tilted down a whole bunch more. Because there's a lip on the shelf, it keeps the dumbbells in place, but this will allow me to reach in and basically almost pull the dumbbells straight out. So I think between the rolling bottom shelf, the next shelf being tilted like this, and then the next 2 shelves will just have the medium and lightweight dumbbells on them, so it's not a big deal. I really think that that combination is going to really make the Delta rack an ideal rack for a lot of people. Right now, the way that mine is configured, it's not. It's functional, like I can get the dumbbells in and out, but it is a two-hand, get down and deadlift the things out of the shelf type of an operation, and I need to make it so that it's easy to get in there and get them out. So I thought that was cool. This is the only one of these. I've got a pair of them. It's the only pair that exist. They might have some there, but really the only ones out in the wild are these, so that's kind of cool. Thought that was neat. So that is a prototype. The next surprise is my buddy Ashton, who runs Freedom Fitness, also runs Hammerclad Flooring. If you're looking for flooring for your gym, code GC1 to get you 5% off. I'll put a link below. But he's really the best place to get your flooring for your gym. And he is really working on making customization a thing for your home gym. And I think that this was one of the biggest surprises of the show. Check this out. He figured out how to get stuff printed on flooring tiles. So if you're looking to put flooring in your gym that has cool stuff printed, I mean, come on guys, check that out. He walks up, he made a bunch of us, made a bunch of the YouTubers, these with all their logos on it. And that's another prototype. It's a brand new thing. I'm not sure he's selling that yet. I know he will be selling it, but man, just really awesome. Like really, really, really awesome. And super appreciative. Ashton, thank you. It's like literally my favorite thing I brought home from Home Gym Con. And I'm gonna show it to you again because I love it. Is that floor tile. That's gonna go, there's this place. So there's gonna be some big changes coming here in the gym soon, I think. I'm in the middle of some negotiations right now, and I think there's gonna be some big mix-ups in here. And if what goes in here is what I think is gonna go in here, there's a place that's like just perfect for that floor tile, and I cannot wait to actually, oh, it's awesome, love it. But anyway, another prototype. Another prototype is this guy right here from my buddy Matt Porter. Now he didn't give me this, I bought this. So I bought it. He made 3 of these. He made one in purple, he made one in red, and he made one in green. So I've got one of only 3 of these in the world, and there's not going to be any more that are just like this. So this is called a Rev Bar. So what this is it's a cable attachment. It's got these big, fat, knurled handles right here. Let me see if I can get these here for you. That spin on bearings. Man, I'll tell you what, this thing is awesome. So this is one of those things that you had to feel. When people felt this at the show, this blew everybody away. This is one of those things where he could have sold 100 of these. And this was like $350 or $330. It is not an inexpensive cable attachment. But the cool thing is that it's nice and big. The knurling is fantastic. But for press downs, for pullovers, for lat pullovers, for skull crushers, there's just a ton of things. So you're seeing a lot of cable attachments come out where they're these flat plates that you put your hand on. And the problem is that takes your grip out of the equation, but the plate gets a little bit wonky. And with this, the way that these turn, just the way that you put it on, you typically don't wrap your thumb around it. You put your thumbs on top like so. But that is, I've been using this thing almost daily. So using this thing's pretty awesome. He is iterating this. He's gonna make these, I believe he said, a little bit shorter. He's gonna take out some metal in here. So this is pretty heavy. So right now it's a little bit too heavy in my opinion, but the production models aren't going to be this heavy. They're gonna be much lighter. And I believe the production models are gonna be in black only. So I was happy to get this, and I was really happy to bring this home. If you're not familiar with Matt's stuff, man, he just keeps turning out some better and better stuff. I made a video on his Eclipse grips. Make sure and go check that out. Another kind of expensive, but I've got 2 of them. He came out with these leather pads for him, which are just, man, they're so cool. So a lot of stuff that he does is awesome. The next thing that I got from him at the show wasn't something I bought at the show, but it was something that I got delivered to me at the show. So I'm kind of gonna count it. And that's, it's in a box still, so I can't show you, but I'll throw up some pictures on the screen. It's called a TNT HellBox. Doesn't that sound fun? And what it is it's a lever belt squat attachment. I'm gonna put it on my Fringe Sport Mammoth belt squat. It works on all different kinds of belt squats. And what it is it's 2 things. It's side loading weight horns, because you really need, with the belt squat, you really need to be able to put a decent amount of weight, and the top weight horns not only don't hold enough weight if you don't have real thin plates, but also, man, you can buy these little barbell pads or plate pads from AbMat. to go between your plates so you don't squish your fingers, but honestly, it's just a pain to load them like that. So side loading weight horns, and then it's got an articulating handle that goes forward and back that allows you can put it all the way down and do RDLs. You can put it all the way up. It gives you a place to hold on to when you're doing squats. That's one of the things that's missing from these lever belt squats, is something to hold on to. And the handles are great. Again, really well made, really nice ingenuity in the product. It's pretty universal for most things. I know at the show, he was actually using a lever arm. So if you've got jammer arms, he was using the jammer arm as a lever belt squat, because this gives you your weight horns and your handle. I'll put a link below. Not affiliated with Matt. Don't make $1 if you buy his stuff. I just like, man, he makes some awesome stuff, and he's got some cool stuff coming as well. So, but check that out. That's the TNT HellBox. So I got that, and I think that's one of the first ones of those out in the wild too. I don't think he had, I think this is one of the first production runs that he made. So I like buying his stuff right off the bat. I'm confident enough. I've got probably 3 or 4 things that he makes right now in the gym, and all of them are spectacular. So definitely check out his stuff. But I brought that home from the show as well. And the last thing that I brought has a little bit of a story around it, and it is kind of a prototype. It's available on the manufacturer's website now, but the one that I got is a prototype. And it was something new that they were showing at the show. So when I got there, ATX was one of the first booths that I went to. And I shot a lot of video at the ATX booth that I didn't end up posting. I made the ATX Details Matter video, which is I think the only thing that really was, it encapsulated ATX the best. I didn't think you guys, after I saw all the content out there, I didn't think you guys needed yet another slew of individual product reviews from ATX. I may post them at some point, I may not. But Thursday when I got there, I was the only one filming content on Thursday, which was a little weird, but really cool. Lots of people setting up. All the video I shot that day has like impact drills running in the background and forklifts running around with the beeping, and it was a little bit noisy. But anyway, so I'm looking through the ATX booth, and before the show, ATX had emailed a lot of us and said, hey, we don't want to bring any of this stuff home with us. We're selling the whole booth, right? We're selling all of it. And they sold all their racks, but all of the stuff that they sent us were like racks and stuff. So I looked at the thing and I'm like, man, I really appreciate the offer. They offered the content creators a little bit of a discount. I didn't want to take apart a rack to load it in my car or rent a U-Haul. A lot of guys did, and you're gonna see a lot of content creators now have ATX racks, because it was a smoking deal, right? Amazing racks, great product, and just you couldn't pass it up. You had to break it down, you had to load it yourself, which we'll get to on the piece I got, and then you had to find a way to ship it home, and I just didn't want to deal with that. Plus, I don't know if you noticed, my gym's full. I don't have room for a rack, so I politely declined. But I got there on Thursday and I'm looking around and I'm looking at this leg developer, right? It's it's cable connected, and it's got a plate horn on it. It's a leg extension leg curl machine. Lots of these at the show, but this one it fit me really, really well. It's hard for me to find a leg curl leg developer that fits my long legs, right? Not only can I not get far enough back in the seat, but there's not enough of a stretch. There's just all these weird ergonomic problems for me. And this one just really, really felt good. It has ATX's banding system on it. And for those of you watching, I'm going to put up a bunch of videos so you can see what it looks like. But for those of you listening, ATX has a proprietary banding system where you hook a band peg around one little post and then you run it across 1 or 2 rollers. And then you hook the other end on the part of the machine that moves. And what that does is it keeps constant tension on the band, and it allows for more consistent tension across the movement. It's not like a really weird, a lot of times when you band stuff, there's no tension at one end and there's too much at the other. It's just a really smart way to band stuff. So the fact that it attaches to cable systems, and I could hook it up to my Titan cable towers, I could hook it up. So anyway, Thursday night, I hadn't elected to take anything from ATX. And I literally said in the video, and I might even cut it in here, of all the things in this booth that I wish I could take home, I think I said something like that, it's this. And it's the leg developer. So I actually asked about it and it was sold. One of the many things I like about this is there's so many little hidden touches and things that make me want to take this thing home. This is one of the things, I think this is sold, but if it's not, this is something that I would absolutely love to bring home. So I'm like, oh man, that was the one thing I might have really kind of enjoyed bringing home. So I'm like, no big deal. So I'm standing around on Saturday night. I did an I Like I Wish thing about Home Gym Con a while back, and one thing I didn't include was that a lot of the vendors on Saturday night, they started tearing down their booths like 2 hours before the show closed. And I wish they would have waited. So I really wish they hadn't done that, because a lot of the booths, half their stuff was gone and there was still an hour and a half left in the show. But anyway, end of the night, I'm standing around in the ATX booth, and they weren't tearing down, but all the people who had bought stuff were coming to pick stuff up. And I was actually filming that Details Matter video. This is literally when I was filming the Details Matter video. And in fact, the people I'm about to talk about, you can see their legs next to this machine in the background of one of those shots. I'm standing there, and this is what happens. These people walk up, they grab one of the guys from ATX, and they're like, hey man, I know that we committed to buy this, but I think we would really rather have this other machine that you offered us. Is it okay if we don't buy this one and we do buy this other one? And the guy's like, yeah, no problem. That's not a problem at all. And he literally, as soon as they walk away, he turns around and looks at me and he goes, hey Tim, you want this? I'm like, yes, I do. So that was really cool. So that's how I ended up with the ATX Leg Developer. They were kind enough to give it to me just to get it out of the booth. I think they really just, at the end of that night, guys, if you go to Home Gym Con, I don't know, I can't say it's going to work this way next year, but there were so many, like the manufacturers tried to sell their booths, but at the end of Saturday night, anything that wasn't sold, they were literally just giving it away to people because they didn't either have the logistics to bring it back, or they didn't want to ship it up, pack it up and ship it back. So a lot of people just got given stuff, or got given stuff for a song, right? Like I know PRX was giving some stuff away. People kept coming up to me like, hey Tim, somebody wanted to know if you want this. Somebody wanted to know if you want that. Man, I should have brought a U-Haul. But so anyway, that's how I got the ATX Leg Developer. I really like it. I've been using it a lot. It's going to be part of a pretty long Leg Developer video I've got coming out soon. And it's a really interesting option to have here. I don't know that I'm going to keep it forever, but it is the best of what I've got in the gym, and I really enjoy using it. And I love having an ATX piece here. If you guys couldn't tell from the content I put out, I really like that company, and I'm super happy to have one of their pieces here in the gym to just reinforce every day how smooth the stuff is, how well built it is. What I realize is having it here, their seat vinyl is, mwah, it's awesome. So I like the grippiness of reps. I'm sitting on a rep bench right now, and I like their clean grip vinyl, but man, it gets dirty and it's really sticky. The ATX stuff is grippy, but also easy to clean, nice. It feels high end. I mean, it's just such a really nice piece. So I was happy to get that prototype from the show. I bought a bunch of t-shirts. I would have bought a bunch more t-shirts if people had them, but that's all I spent. So my wallet was still kind of full, and my car was also full. And so getting them out of there, you'll hear a lot of other podcasts talk about the offloading or the loading dock at Home Gym Con. So I just said yes to this piece. How do I get it out of here? Right? Like everybody's making a mad dash. You see people wheeling pallet jacks up to the freight elevator. I don't even know, like I wasn't planning to take, I'm like, what am I supposed to do? And so I talked to somebody like, go up and talk to this logistics company. There was a desk up at the front. I go up there and they're like, oh yeah, you can load it on the street outside. It's on 2nd Street. Pull around and figure out a way to get it into your car, basically. So, okay. All right, so I went and I got this thing. Luckily, it's got wheels. It weighs about 150 pounds, so it's not light, but it's got wheels, so I grab it. There's this little lock. Cool ATX detail. It's got this little pin, this mag pin in it, that the only purpose for this mag pin is to lock the Leg Developer so that you can then grab it and lift it up and then roll it around by the thing. Like that's a great example of an ATX detail. So I did that, and I put all my other stuff on. I put my floor tile on it. I put my Rev Bar on it. I put my t-shirts on it. I put all the stuff, my backpack, and I like wheel it through the whole thing. And I had to stop like twice because you're basically RDLing this thing while I'm walking, and it was heavy. So I got it up to the freight elevator, and I see a bunch of people's other stuff just stacked there. And I'm like, okay, let me go get my car. I have no idea how I'm gonna load this heavy thing, but let me at least get my car around. So I go to the hotel, I get my car, I drive back, I drive around the block, and if 2nd Street is here, like the convention center's here and it's just the streets around it, so 2nd Street is along the back of it, and then there's another street, and then there's another street on the opposite side of the building. As I'm driving to get to 2nd Street, the line for pickup starts back here on the opposite side of the building. There is just truck after truck after truck after truck just at a standstill all the way around the block. And I'm like, oh man, what am I gonna do, right? I'm by myself, I don't have anybody to help me load it. I'm sure I could find somebody there to help me, but what am I gonna do? So I go, okay, well, let me just circle the block and see if I can think of something to do. So I drive around the block and I get up on 2nd Street. And so the loading dock is kind of in the middle of the building. And I drive up, and as I'm driving up, somebody at the front of the line, they're not at the line for the loading dock is here. And then there's the loading dock, and then there's a couple people parked, and there's somebody just pulls away right there. And I'm like, I'm gonna find a way to wheel this thing out into my car. If it kills me, but I'm not waiting in this line. So I squealed in here, I put on my hazards, I parked, I walked back around inside the building, all the way back up through the floor. I go, and they go, oh yeah, the freight elevator's broken. Really? So I look over, and there's a normal elevator, and people are taking individual carts of stuff. I don't even know if this thing's gonna fit in this elevator. So I wheel it over there, and I wheel it into the elevator, and it barely fits. And so I go downstairs, and it's just in this back area of the convention center. It's kind of a maze. So I take it, I'm following other people. I'm trying to wheel it through. It doesn't want to go over these bumps in the cement and door jams and things. I'm wheeling it through doorways. I'm like, gosh, I hope I'm going the right way, because otherwise I'm going to end up in the middle of this building with this giant 150-pound machine, and I'm just going to give up. My bald head, I'm drenched in sweat. It is so hot in this part of the building. And it was kind of hot and humid in Louisville anyway. So I finally find my way to the back and get it outside, and I look, my car's right there. So my car's like 40 yards down from the door that I came out of. So I wheel it down there, and I go, okay. Whew. I literally sat down on the seat, and I'm not kidding. My shirt was drenched to where I had to wring it out. The top of my pants were just soaked. It was brutal, guys. So I look around, and there's nobody there. So it turns out that the line for the trucks was because the loading dock hadn't opened yet, and these guys were just waiting for the loading dock to open. I had just kind of circumvented that whole thing. Apparently everybody else that was going down on the elevators were staging on the inside to load into the trucks that were there, so I just totally backdoored the whole thing. It was awesome. But I'm like, okay, I'm kind of parked where I probably shouldn't be. So I opened the lift gate on my car, and I'm like, all right, you're going in this truck whether you like it or not. And I walk around, and I pick up one end of this thing, and I rest it on the top of the thing, and I like hold it in place, and it's trying to slide off. And then I run around, and I grab this, and I pick it up, and I start shoving it into the back, like a little bit at a time, shoving it into the back of I've got a 4Runner, had all the seats down, and all of a sudden it starts getting caught on like the carpet and the mats, and it's not going anywhere. And so at some point it's halfway in and halfway out, and it won't move. I'm like, oh no, what am I gonna do? So finally, I could make this a much longer story, but finally, with a lot more sweat, a bunch of cuts, a smashed finger, and a lot of grunting and a lot of weird looks from the people walking down the street watching me work, I got it in. I could barely shut the lift gate. I got all my other stuff in the car. I went back to the hotel and took a shower, but man, it was just, this piece is staying here for a while just because of what I went through to get it. Not only in the divine providence that the thing on day one that I was there was like, this is the one thing I would like, to on the last day being, hey Tim, this just happens to be available now and you didn't think it was. Do you want it? To the whole lucky thing. Yes, it was an ordeal, but guys, I cut everybody in the line, not intentionally, but I'm just gonna find a way to muscle this out of the building. So I don't know if you guys get a kick out of that story as much as I do, but it's one of my highlight memories of Home Gym Con. You know, some of those things in life where you go through them, and while you're going through them, you're like, this sucks. Why? And then later on, you look back, you're like, that's probably one of the best things that happened the whole time I was there. But that's how I got the ATX Leg Developer into my gym. I'll always remember that. It's one of the biggest memories of the convention for me. I thought I'd share it with you guys. And that's all the stuff that I bought / was given. Stuff that I want. I got a little list here. Number one, with a bullet, is the dialed motion leg developer preacher curl. So they not only had the leg developer, they also had a preacher curl attachment for the leg developer, which I didn't get to see. I just saw video of it. Those are mine. I will pre-order them. They're not even going to open orders until the end of the year, and then it'll be a 5-month wait. And I am happy to give them my money, and I am happy to wait for it. It was that good. That will be the leg developer that's in this gym, and it will eventually replace the ATX. It will eventually replace the RipFit. It will eventually replace the Freak Athlete attachment. But But at some point, and probably won't be here for a year, right? So I'm super happy to have the ATX in the meantime. But I'm going to buy that, to have that I can hang on the wall. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and watch the dialed motion leg developer video that I made. It was the second video I released from Home Gym Con. I am absolutely buying that thing, and you should too. The next two things that got bumped up my shopping list are two things from Black Widow Training Gear. One of the best things about seeing the Black Widow booth is if you go on their website and you buy their stuff, all their stuff's made to order, right? So you get to pick a lot of options, and one of the options you get to pick is, do you want it just powder coated or do you want it knurled? And I always thought that was a weird choice. I'm used to powder coat like you see on literally everything in my gym. I'm like, why would I want a bar with no grip? Right? And what I've been looking at is they make an elevated pull-up bar for half racks like the Dane behind me. Instead of running a pull-up bar straight across the rack, you mount it in here and it goes up and then out. So it actually allows me to have a pull-up bar where I can get a full hang. I've never owned a pull-up bar where I could actually hang without having to bend my knees. And so I really want to buy this. So I go into the booth and I'm looking and I feel they've got knurled products and then they've got their stuff with the powder coat. Man, if you are looking to buy anything from Black Widow and you have this choice, you need to hear this part. The knurl it's knurl. It's a man's knurl, baby. Like it is, woo, it is sharp. Like I don't want it. Like I don't want knurled anything from Black Widow. It is way too aggressive for me. I can't imagine having a pull-up bar with this knurling on it. But the cool thing is, this is the most unique powder coat I've ever felt. Their powder coat is grippy and rough and textured, and it's the perfect feel for this raised pull-up bar. It's awesome. The other thing that got bumped up my list is I finally got to play with a VHS bar in real life. For those of you just listening, the VHS bar is something that stands for Viking Press, Hammer Curl, Seal Row. It's a barbell specifically made for those three movements. It's a very unique design. I think only they have it. And it's just awesome. I got to try one in real life, and it's for sure, it's been high on my list, but it's going even higher on my list. And that one I may have them knurl it, because they don't knurl all of the handle areas. They just knurl, maybe just knurl a couple of them, like maybe just the ones for the row portion of it. But again, really cool that you can custom order whatever you want for your stuff from them. But those are two things that I left. They were both kind of already on my list, but they definitely got bumped higher because I found all these details out and I actually got to put my hands on their stuff, which was pretty awesome. Something that made my list, which was nowhere on my radar and hasn't been for a while. This is a product that I really wanted to bring into the gym for a long time, and I just kind of ruled it out, was Rep Fitness showed a manual treadmill there, a curved wood treadmill that also doubles as a magnetic resistant sled. Guys, this thing was awesome. Like I don't usually I have what they call the sled tread from the Tib Bar guy. I use it every single day. So I know that I would use this rep piece every single day. But one of my drawbacks is I've got these folding treadmills in here to walk on. If I could get this rep piece in here, it's kind of big, it's kind of expensive, but it's awesome. So that got put on my list as well. They don't have it out yet. It's a new product for them. But if you're looking for a product like this, if there's a link available at the time I post this podcast, I'll put it down below so you can check it out. But I've used a lot of those. I used the XT4 from Zbex while I was there. They had that. I've used Woodway. I've used the Bells of Steel one. I've used a bunch of them. This was hands down the smoothest, the best, the nicest feeling. The resistance for the sled push was great. The ergonomics of the handles, where they put the bars to push on, it was really nice, guys. And so that's something that made my list for sure. I don't know how high it is on my list because, like I said, it's expensive and I don't have room for it right now. But it's something that is in the back of my mind where, like I said, the gym is going to be changing. If I didn't say it in this podcast, I've said it before. This gym is going to be changing drastically in the next month. A lot of what you have seen in the gym isn't going to be here anymore. There's going to be all new stuff. And I think that might make room for that rep piece. So I was really impressed with that treadmill. And if you're looking for a manual tread, it'd be worth your while to wait for that one to come out and go with that one for sure. The next thing that I saw that I wanted was at Darko's booth, and it was weird because I've looked at Darko for Darko lifting. I've looked at his website a bazillion times, and I'm always looking at like the cool like accent color stuff and the shorty bars and like the stuff he's really known for. He had these prototype spotter arms, these flip down spotter arms, which were super, super cool. They were low profile. They didn't take up a ton of room on the rack. You pull a pin and they fold down so they get out of the way. You don't have to lug them on and off of the rack to get them out of the way. They just fold down. They're super lightweight. You're gonna be able to get them, I think, different colors and things, so you can get them with different color accents. Those spotter arms were awesome, and it's funny because I did just a quick flyby in the live stream, and one of the most common comments in the live stream was, man, I want those spotter arms from Darko. They're super, super cool. So those spotter arms on my list. I will probably have over the next 6 to 8 months quite a few of Darko's products in my gym. Seeing him at the show, seeing the colors that he offered, just reinforced that there's just, if you want to do some stuff that kind of just cool customization, unique products, check out Darko's stuff for sure. And another thing that was at Darko's booth was he had this 3D printed rack. He had a 3D printed mini Voltra on there, which it was so cool. It was so detailed. Also, a company called Mini Barbell was there, where you can build like your own rack and own barbells with your own little mini weights. So I'm slowly redesigning my office upstairs, and I think it's only appropriate that I have one of those things on a shelf somewhere up there just for decor in the background, because I will be shooting some videos up in the office at some point, program reviews and some other stuff. So I think just as part of the set, I also kind of put one of those on my list. I probably should have bought one while I was there. I did have lots of money available to spend, and I had plenty of room in the truck for something like this. It was just, I just didn't get around to it. But I probably should have bought something from the Mini Barbell people, at least when I was there. So, but that's another thing that's on the list that I saw at the show. The last thing at the show that I realized that I need is a bigger garage. They didn't sell those there. But yeah, I realized that I could do a 3-car garage easily. At this point in the game, even if it was just me, no YouTube channel, I could for sure outfit a 3-car garage as a gym and still probably not have enough room for all the stuff that I want. Like, if I really had my choice, there was a ton of cool stuff there. So that was kind of neat. So that's the stuff that made my list. Now, for the last part of the podcast, I want to spend some time talking about, I went into the show with some certain preconceived notions of things that I wanted, things that I didn't want, what I thought certain products were for, and ended up that they're not being this. So I made a quick list of 4 things that I kind of changed my mind on. The first one is just something I've talked about a lot. I went there intending to buy the bare steel equipment Rackable Curl Bar, and I realized while I was there, I flip-flopped on this. If you followed me for very long, you're like, really, are you on this again? Like, are you talking about Rackable Curl Bars again? I've owned like almost every one in existence, and then every time I buy one, I'm like, yeah, I don't need that. So I sell it, and I was planning on buying the bare steel equipment Rackable Curl Bar. It was super nice. If you're looking for one, I really like it. It's a wider diameter bar. It's got good knurl on it, really well made. It's a great option. I'll put a link to it down below. It's just, I realized after I picked it up, I'm like, you know what? This is really no different than my American Barbell V-Bar attachment and my cable machine. I do a lot of my curls on cable machine now, not with the barbell. That's something that I changed my mind on, just a little one to start off with. The second thing that I changed my mind on was the Voltra, and I did a whole big segment on the Voltra in a previous podcast, so go check that out. Not in the last one, but in the one before that, I talked a lot about realizing that it wasn't what I thought it was for. And I'm still not looking to spend $5,000 on a pair of Voltras, because I really think you would need a pair to really make the most out of them. But I am kind of thinking about the Ancore, and I didn't think I would. To me, even at the show, I was like, it's like a spring-loaded version of the Voltra. It's really not all that great. I mean, it is good. It's good. Don't get me wrong. That's wrong. It's a very good product. It's just not the Voltra. In my head, I see these companies in my mind like, you're just trying to rip off the Voltra, and it's not. Like, they're not. Do not look at those 2 products and think that they are even close to the same thing. They are not close to the same thing. But when I started thinking about what I would actually use the Voltra for, which is high-speed, dynamic, explosive athleticism training type stuff, especially for rotational movements. Every day that I've trained since I got back from the show, I'm like, man, I could use that Ancore right now. Man, I could use that Ancore right now. Man, I bet I could use the Ancore for this. So I'm thinking about buying the Ancore. When I went there, I just wrote it off as a cheap knockoff of the Voltra, and I realize now that it's just a different product, guys. It kind of does a similar function, but they're for completely different uses. Now, the interesting thing is, anything the Ancore does, the Voltra does. So the Voltra could definitely take the place of the Ancore, but all the other stuff the Voltra does if you don't need that or you don't want that or you just don't want to spend the money on them. The Ancore is a lower price product. Now it's still expensive. Still think it's like $600 or $700. It ain't cheap, but it's not $2,500. So, it's a third of the price. So I've been thinking about that. So that was another one that I changed my mind on. Now to the big one. And I've wanted to talk about this for a while since I got back from the show. And I wasn't sure how to address it. And I figured this would be a good segment to include it in. This company, their products are amazing. They're some of the most highly engineered and well-designed products that I saw at the show. People love their stuff. The owners are super, super nice. The people who this product is for, or these products are for, will absolutely love them. They're awesome. They are just not for me. And that's everything made by BulletProof Fitness. I didn't have a bigger change of heart of anything in the show than I did BulletProof. I went to the show, and they were one of my top things that I wanted to see at the show. I was so excited to go see them. I had some questions. I had my doubts. I was skeptical about a lot of stuff because it looks like it takes up a lot of the room on the rack. They look like they're big and heavy and hard to store. But I bet it's one of those things where once I get on it, I'm going to love it. And I was really, the whole way there, I'm like, man, can I fit a VTS on my rack? Could I buy a wall-mounted rack to just put a VTS on? How about an isolator? What if I bought a wall-mounted rack and put it over here in the corner and put a VTS and an ice? I in my mind, I'm buying everything that BulletProof made. So I show up and I walk in on Thursday and I walk past the BulletProof booth. And when I was a little kid, we used to go to my grandparents' house, and my grandparents are old school. So all the kids go in the basement, leave the adults alone. The adults are going to stay up here and play bridge or gin or whatever they were playing. So we would go in the basement, but they had toys from when my dad was a kid. So they had things like Lincoln Logs. They had these old school like 1950s and 1960s board games. And they had an old school in a metal case erector set. If you don't know what an erector set is, Google it. It's hard to explain, but it's basically a bunch of choking hazards. It's a metal construction set. So imagine Legos, but way before Legos. And they're all these metal pieces of different shapes and sizes and brackets, and then tons of nuts and bolts, and these little tiny screwdrivers and wrenches. And you literally would assemble stuff. It's like scaffolding. It's like mini construction scaffolding. Every edge was sharp. Every edge was pointy. Everything was a choking hazard. It was a total toy from the 60s. But we used to love to go play with it. The problem is it's literally about 1.7 million pieces in this one little box. And I remember one time we pulled it out and we knocked the box off the table and it all went everywhere. And that's what the BulletProof booth looked like when I walked in on Thursday. There were so many parts and pieces and nuts and bolts, and I looked at this stuff and I'm like, these guys are never gonna get this booth put together by tomorrow. It was early Thursday afternoon. The show opened Friday morning. We had until midnight on Thursday to be in the hall. And I'm like, there's not a chance. They had a whole team there. I'm like, there's no chance. There are so many parts. And I'm thinking as a home gym owner, oh my God, this is what it looks like when I get it. It's a billion little parts. Now, it might not be. They might have some sub-assemblies done, but I can't imagine them shipping the stuff to the show in any different condition than they would ship it to you or I. So issue number one was, holy cow, right? And then as they put it together, it's super intricate, right? Which is really neat. Like, one of the cool things about the BulletProof stuff is literally every aspect of the product is adjustable. You don't like the angle of the handle. You don't like where the handle attaches. You don't like how tight the rollers are. You don't like anything at all. If it could be adjusted, it's adjustable, which is super awesome for some people. It's not super awesome for me. I like some adjustability, but this was just taking it to the next level. So if you're the type of person who loves to tinker, and you love, like, you don't like to buy like the Star Wars Lego set, you like to buy like just the box of Legos and just build your own because you like to make it exactly how you want it, this stuff is for you. It's just, man, I just got a real quick dose of, man, it is not for me. It was way too involved. Every time I watched him demo it a bunch of times, and the isolator was something I was really excited to look at. And watching, here's the guys who invented the product, the people who own the company, and they're like, and then you pull this pin, and then you slide this down here, and then you take this thing off, and then you put this other thing on, and then you put the seat from here to here, and then you change it on the thing, and then you move it, and I'm like, A, that's way too much for me, and B, I won't use it. If it's a science project for me to actually get it set up to use, I won't use it. So that left me back to, I'm still, well, how do I get it in my gym? Because it does a lot of cool stuff, right? Like the VTS was super smooth. I like how it worked. I like the independent motion that you could do. They had some really cool ways to attach it to pulley systems. It was really neat. And I'm still thinking, okay, half rack bolted to the wall, VTS, like all that stuff. But then I realized, man, I just wouldn't use it because it takes, so even if it's already there in a dedicated setup, it still had a lot of stuff. So, I mean, maybe I just got the wrong impression. I went back to the booth a bunch of times. I watched them demo it a bunch of times. I admired the engineering of the products a lot. Talk about people way smarter than me. I don't even know how you would begin to even think about coming up with this stuff. And they had some new prototypes there. They had this weird little anchor looking thing where you loaded weights on different parts of it that changed the force curve so that you could do leg curls, seated leg curls, seated leg extensions. Like they had a lot of, like I said, I don't want to knock it at all. It's awesome stuff. Like I said, it's just something that when we talk about things that I change my mind on, BulletProof, I way changed my mind on. I don't see myself ever getting at least any of the products that they had there at the show. But I'm telling you, if you are that type of person and you like the idea of Frankensteining something together, because that's the other thing, I really realized the idea, at least the idea that I got of BulletProof was that it saves you the room of a machine by having a thing that you can bolt onto your rack and then take off when you're not using it. And number one, the VTS just don't come off. Those are just there. And even the VTS Lite, the process of taking them on and off, is just, they're gonna stay on your rack, I promise. But even like the isolator, which is meant to come on and off, even once you get it off, you gotta either break it down into all these parts and store all the parts, or you leave it together and it's giant. So in the end, in my mind, it didn't really save the space. I have to have a second rack to do this, in which case I could have just bought the machine, right? So anyway, so that was the last thing that I changed my mind on at the show. It was just something that was probably the biggest surprise to me of the whole show, was this thing that I went there super excited to see. And don't get me wrong, I wasn't disappointed. I was just disappointed that I changed my mind, that I didn't want to buy this stuff, because I really was planning to have some BulletProof stuff here in the gym, and it was interesting. It wasn't a disappointment. It was just, I got to be honest with myself, it's just not for me. So sometimes, you know, I've learned my lesson at 54 years old that I've made that purchase before where I want something to be for me. It's just not, and then I waste my money. So anyway, well, I won't waste my money on that, but you should spend your money on it if that's something for you. It's super cool stuff, well designed, and some of the nicest people at the show, like genuinely some of the nicest people at the entire show. So awesome company, glad that they came this year. They won Rookie of the Year. They've been gonna come the first 2 years and then weren't able to, so it was nice to see them make it. And talk about hard workers, like I said, I don't know how they got all those parts together and strung together for the show, but they did it, and they did a nice job. So good on them for that. And that's my purchasing and buying and shopping list experience at Home Gym Con. And this is probably my last Home Gym Con podcast. I think that is it for Home Gym Con 2025 content for me. Hopefully you enjoyed all the podcasts. Hopefully you enjoyed all of the product reviews and the live streams and all that kind of stuff. It's been kind of a whirlwind. I've already got it on my calendar for next year. I can't wait to go next year. It's 3 days. It's going to be in Louisville. For those of you looking for the dates, it's July 30th, July 31st, and August 1st in Louisville, Kentucky. I believe he's going to do the Galt House again. That's the place to stay, and it's going to be in the same place, just in a bigger space. So should be a pretty good time next year. So, but that's it. No more Home Gym Con talk for me. And until the next podcast review, all that kind of good stuff. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Tim from GymCrafter.